A player earns about 200 times more than Messi or Ronaldo did at 18. And that fact alone has stunned football fans everywhere. The Barcelona teenager is not only showcasing world-class talent, but also taking home one of the biggest paychecks in modern football. How can someone so young earn what legends once made in a full year? Using verified data and real records, we will see how football's economy has grown to make this possible. To understand how we got here, it helps to look at where Yamal's story began. Born in July 2007 in Spain to parents of Moroccan and Equatorial Guinean heritage, he entered Barcelona's world-famous La Masia Academy when he was only 7 years old. Even at that age, his skill and vision stood out, and coaches quickly labeled him as one of the brightest young prospects in the system. Fast forward a decade, and that same child is now a first-team regular for Barcelona, making history as the youngest player ever to start and score for the club in La Liga. His rise on the field has been matched by staggering financial success off it. Yamal's current contract with Barcelona runs until June 2031, ensuring both long-term security and incredible earnings. Reports confirm that his gross annual salary sits around 16.67 million euros, translating to roughly 320,000 euros per week. Even if we round it down to 300,000 euros, the figure is still unprecedented for a teenager. According to the 2025 Forbes highest-paid footballers list, Yamal earns around $33 million from football itself, plus another $10 million from endorsements, bringing his total income close to $43 million, or about 40 million euros a year. After taxes, his net base salary is estimated at around 9.4 million euros, excluding bonuses. Within Barcelona's 2025-26 payroll, Yamal ranks as the fourth highest paid player, sitting just behind established veterans such as Robert Lewandowski. These figures are not only about personal achievement, they reveal how football's global economy has evolved to reward young stars like never before. But to truly grasp how extraordinary those numbers are, we need to look back at the past and see what the biggest names in football earned when they were the same age. Let us start with Lionel Messi. When he turned 18 in June 2005, Barcelona's young Argentine prodigy was already showing flashes of greatness. Yet his salary barely reflected it. His first senior contract paid him only 1,500 euros per week, about 78,000 euros per year. That is not a typo. Some reports later mentioned higher amounts, but those came after his breakout 2005 to 2006 season, not when he was exactly 18. At that stage, he was still considered a developing player, not yet the global superstar he would become. His financial rewards came later through bonuses and sponsorships, once his reputation exploded. But at that exact age, Messi's earnings were a fraction of Yamal's current weekly pay. Now consider Cristiano Ronaldo. In 2003, at the age of 18, he was playing for Sporting CP in Portugal. His weekly salary was around 1,200 euros, or roughly 62,400 euros per year. That might have been a respectable wage in Portuguese football back then, but it was nowhere near what today's young stars command. Everything changed when Manchester United signed him that August for £12.24 million. His new contract increased his pay to £1.82 million a year, around 2.7 million euros at the time. But that was after his move, not while he was still 18 at Sporting. Historical data even suggests that in the 2002 to 2003 season, Ronaldo's annual earnings were closer to $20,000. It is incredible to think that a teenager who would later redefine global football started with a salary that would now barely cover a few days of Yamal's income. So how do these figures compare side by side? When looking purely at weekly base pay, Yamal's €300,000 dwarfs Messi's €1,500 and Ronaldo's €1,200. Put another way, Yamal makes about 200 times more than Messi and roughly 250 times more than Ronaldo did at the same age. Even on an annual scale, Yamal's €15.6 million base salary towers over Messi's €78,000 and Ronaldo's €62,400. Keep in mind that these are just base salaries, not including sponsorships or bonuses. The comparison reveals an almost unbelievable economic shift within the sport. Football's financial landscape has not merely grown, it has exploded. What once took years of global success to achieve is now available to talented teenagers before they even reach their prime. That change did not happen by chance. Over the past 20 years, football has transformed from a local business into a global media empire. Clubs that once relied on ticket sales and merchandise now make their biggest profits from broadcasting and digital streaming rights. Starting in the early 2000s, leagues like the Premier League, La Liga, and the Champions League began negotiating massive international TV deals. The latest Premier League cycle alone, covering 2022 to 2025, is worth over $10 billion. That influx of cash allows even mid-table clubs to operate with financial muscle once reserved for the giants. Corporate sponsorships have also fueled the boom. Today's footballers are not just athletes, they are global marketing figures. Major brands compete to sign them, knowing that one social media post can reach millions. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok have turned young stars into marketable icons almost overnight. Yamal, like many of his generation, benefits from this digital exposure, where global audiences translate directly into financial value. Clubs now measure players not only by goals or assists, but also by online engagement, audience reach, and brand partnerships. Football has merged with entertainment and business, creating a system where visibility equals value. This growth has naturally led to wage inflation. Over the last decade, player salaries have risen at an average of 9 to 13% per year. In Europe's top leagues, this mirrors club revenues almost exactly. Analysts estimate a 99% correlation between how much clubs earn and how much they spend on wages. In the 1970s, most professionals earned just a few thousand euros a year. By the early 2000s, elite players were already making 10 to 20 million annually. This pattern mirrors other sports. In Major League Baseball, average salaries rose from $20,000 in 1970 to $2.6 million by 1997-2005. In the NFL, the salary cap jumped from $34.6 million in 1994 to $224.8 million in 2023. Professional sports have become tied to global entertainment and commercial growth. So when a teenager like Yamal earns astronomical sums, he's stepping into a market that has been expanding for decades. Another reason young players earn so much is how clubs view them. In modern football, youth equals investment. Rising stars are seen as valuable assets with long-term potential. Offering high salaries early helps clubs secure loyalty and avoid losing them to rivals. Beyond retention, there's marketing. Young players attract younger audiences, drive engagement, and generate content for global brands. Barcelona's Pedri and Gavi both signed multi-million euro contracts before turning 21. Real Madrid's Jude Bellingham reportedly earns around 15 million euros per year, excluding bonuses. These deals show how football now rewards potential almost as much as proven success. The earlier a player builds an international following, the earlier big money arrives. It shows that salaries today are not just about performance, They reflect how much attention a player can bring as a global brand. Marketability, digital influence, and fan engagement matter as much as on-field success. A player who connects with millions online can be as valuable as one who scores a hat trick weekly. Clubs are rethinking how they develop young talent. With so much money at stake, they invest more in academies, data, and media strategies. High wages for teenagers may seem risky, but they guarantee future returns. When a teenager like Yamal earns hundreds of thousands each week, it symbolizes football's transformation into a billion-euro entertainment machine. At 18, Lamine Yamal earns far more than Messi or Ronaldo did at the same age, showing how football's economy has grown through technology and global media. The real question is whether this boom is sustainable. Are young stars fairly rewarded or simply products of a massive business? Share your thoughts below and subscribe to Enigma Path for more insights into football's changing finances.